Turns out you have friends in Spain. Time to pay them a visit. Find out how at thetravelerscourse.com. Yesterday on Hey Hey Jueves, we talked a little bit about asking directions. We saw some conversations in context, and today we're going to talk more about the verbs and vocabulary we used in that lesson. So we saw the verb estar, which is one of the ways to say to be in Spanish, and it's used with locations. We also saw several AR verbs. So today we're going to talk about the conjugation of AR verbs. So the meanings of these verbs that we have, doblar is to turn, girar is also to turn, although we didn't see it in the video. Buscar is to look for. Quedar means to stay, but we'll see more meanings of quedar next week. Pensar means to think or to plan. Andar is to walk. Llegar is to arrive. And llevar is to take or to carry. The verb pensar is a little bit different than the other verbs on this list, so we're going to just set it aside for a moment and get back to it in a second. Right now I'd like to focus only on the regular verbs in this list. Now, regular AR verbs conjugate by removing the final two letters of the infinitive, that's the A and the R, and adding an O for yo, as for the to form, a for the el o ella forms, amos for the nosotros form, ais for the vosotros form, and an for ellos and ellas. Now let's take an example, buscar, which we saw means to look for. I'm going to include the subject pronouns. If that's something that you'd like to review, take a look at our video from last Friday. So for this present tense conjugation, we're going to remove the AR from buscar and add an O, making yo, busco. Tú, buscas. Él y ella, busca. Nosotros, nosotras, buscamos. Vosotros o vosotras, buscáis. Ellos y ellas, buscan. What we've done by conjugating in the present tense is add the subject to the verb. So busco means I look for. Let's look at another example. The verb llegar, which we already saw, means to arrive. It conjugates in the same pattern as buscar because they're both AR verbs. Llego, llegas, llega, llegamos, llegáis, y llegan. Now for the verb pensar, which I warned you is slightly different than the other verbs. And you can see here that not only does the end change, but also the first E changes to an IE. So instead of just pienso, we have pienso. Now that's only true for the yo, tú, él, ella, and ellos, ellas forms. The nosotros and vosotros are safe from that change. Now I did promise you we would talk about the verb estar. It also conjugates differently. We have estoy for the yo, estás, tú, está, él o ella, estamos, we, estáis, vosotros, and están, ellos y ellas. And we already saw the meaning of this verb, estar, which is one of the forms in Spanish for to be, and we use it with locations. Can you tell what the following phrases are saying? Estamos en Madrid. Estoy en el cine. Estamos. We are. Estoy. I am. El correo está en calle Inclán. La casa está cerca del museo. Está, is. Está, is. Let's practice some more. Next we have an activity. If you would like to do the activity, please pause the video now. Did you get them all right? Pensamos here is we plan to. Busco, I look for. Está, is. Llegan, they arrive. Now for some new vocabulary. We saw the words derecho y derecha in our last video. Do you remember what they mean? Izquierda, left. Derecha, right. Derecho, straight. Norte, north. Sur, south. Este, east. Oeste, west. If you'd like to say to the left or to the right, you'd say a la izquierda, a la derecha. To the north, south, etc., we use al. Al norte, al sur, al este, y al oeste. Which direction is the arrow pointing? A la izquierda, or cardinal directions, al oeste. Which direction is the arrow pointing now? A la derecha, o al este for the cardinal direction. Which direction is this arrow pointing? Derecho, al norte. Remember that we don't use al or a la with derecho. Here are two more words we saw in the video. Do you remember what they mean? Cerca de, near, lejos de, far. Some new words we didn't see on the video. Al lado de, next to or beside. Detrás de, behind. Enfrente de, in front of. Let's practice. ¿Las casas están cercas o están lejos? Lejos, far. ¿Casa 1 está detrás o al lado de casa 2? Al lado de, beside, next to. ¿La casa 1 está enfrente o detrás de la casa 2? Enfrente de, in front of. That's all we have for today's installment of Vocabulario y Verbos Viernes. Why don't you go ahead and rewatch this video, watch one from yesterday as a review, and come back next week to see 2 new videos on Thursday and Friday. And visit us at thetravelerscourse.com.